record. This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Mr. Frank Smith, Osaka, Japan. I have to say, I'm looking at everyone's stories and they're going on runs outside the temple. You've got face-offs going on sort of on a side street or something. I'm all a bit jealous, to be honest.
Do you want to come out? You
Yes, I
got
would love
time.
to.
You got time and you got budget, knowing you. So, I think you should. I can't believe you're not here, to be honest, mate.
I know I really should be in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but aren't you? It's probably because you're going to Germany tomorrow, isn't it? In some hospitality, to go and watch the football because you've completely changed. Feel like a little bit you've lost your hunger for work.
Oh, that is horrible.
I'm just saying what people are saying, not myself.
Is
I
that just the
obviously
word on
believe
the streets, right?
a little bit, a little bit. But they asked me to tell you, but
We'll have to keep that under control for now.
yeah, we will.
I suppose instantly just going into Prizefighter then, something that I suppose it's your baby, right? We saw the press conference in Birmingham, the introduction of Aaron McKenna, um, obviously Mark Dickinson. Who else have we got out there?
Yeah, look, we got a. I'm excited we're finally here, by the way, because it's been a long time coming. We've worked for a long time to try and bring the prize fighter tournament back in some kind of format. Obviously, this is different to the historic one, which was one night, quarters, semis, finals. This is over 9 months, three events. But yeah, it's a great lineup, and it's going to set the winner up to challenge for a world title coming out the back of this, I believe. Like you say, you got Aaron McKenna's fighting Giovanni Estella. Stella boxed on one of our cards in Florida. It's going to be an exciting fight. Kieran Conway's against Eniwa. That's a very tough fight for him. You got the rematch of Kani and Kunamoto, which was a brilliant fight just 3 or 4 months ago in Japan. That's for the Japanese title. And you got Mark Dickinson again as well against Takisako, which is going to be a tough fight for him as well. So, I'm excited for it. It's $100,000 knockout bonus on the line as well.
Okay.
That could, if I know, if that, if only one knockout in the night, then someone gets an extra 100K. So, it's also life changing. It's not just even in one night the amount of money on offer for one night in these fights. But at the same time, fighters are taking fights they maybe wouldn't have taken. And risks they wouldn't have taken. So yeah, excited for it, and hopefully we get a knockout or two, and everyone can leave with a few extra quid.
Is there something about the whole prize fighter thing that maybe brings out a little bit of the Frank Smith that was first like on the scene? I suppose I know when I see Eddie speak about it a little bit, that was the sort of thing when British boxing needed that saving grace, that lifeline, that you could tune in and have that prize fighter. This acts similarly, I assume. Does it give you that same sort of buzz?
Yeah, look, I think I started in 2008 full time at Matchroom, so 16 years ago. It was the year that Prizefighter started as well. And that format at the time and bringing that brand together, I think changed definitely our approach with boxing, and also the fan base for boxing. People wanted quicker format fights, and that's what we did. I think we did something like 25 or 30 prize fighter tournaments, over a few years, and it really delivered. And for me, I always believed, as we look to expand the business and go global and go into more markets, I always believed that Prizefighter was a product that could be replicated in new territories. Japan's a market where boxing's flying, obviously led by Inoue, but you only have to look at what he did at Tokyo Dome, 55,000 people just a couple of months ago now. There's huge opportunity here. So when we go and have these discussions with new markets, new partners, is something that we always pitch. And I'm glad we got it over the line. And I think we'll look to replicate it as well in other territories, whether that be the one night format or the multi-night, multi sort of tournament format.
I suppose you're on one side of the spectrum in the fact that it's plus 12 or whatever it is over there. They're minus 6 or whatever. Have you done a little fight day 5K in Japan? Well, I know it's not fight day till Monday, but
Yeah, it's not till Monday, so we've got another couple of days, mate.
no, but fight day 5K on a Monday doesn't feel right. I feel like I should be going to, I don't know, get my groceries on a Monday. I don't know why I said groceries, but do you know what I mean? It's not a very, I feel like it goes with the Saturday tradition, no?
Okay, so should we change the date? What do you want us to do? Change the date of the event or change the
No,
date
but
of the fight day
maybe
5K?
no, yeah, yeah. Fight day 5K maybe has to be brought forward. No,
I'll get on that now. That was on the top of my list. So
and when
I'll
things out,
once I finish with you, we'll get it up and running. All right, and we'll get Osaka out for a 5K.
I'm
You
sure.
obviously haven't been to Osaka because there's not many. It's very built up. So where those guys have been running around, the parks around there, which are very nice. But yeah, I think it's very hot as well, by the way, and humid. So I think I'll be giving the fight day 5K a miss in Osaka.
Wow. Fair enough, Frank. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I suppose let's go on to Boots Saturday night. Well, tonight, really. Um,
tonight. Yeah.
an absolute star in the making and sort of one already. I think Eddie had always said it was a matter of fighters coming to Matchroom and sort of realizing their true potential. We maybe see that a little bit with the whole thing that's going on with Shakur Stevenson, whether you guys end up signing him or whatever. Is it a matter of getting these US talent, giving them a homecoming like you've got in Philly? It may be probably going better than you guys expected, and then having the sort of division and the time to nurture the relationship, but the fighter to flourish.
Yeah, look, I think as you say there, Boots is, albeit a star in many rights, he's not as big as he could be. And I think that's what we always looked at. I think when you saw the announcement around it and the buzz around and the hype around the signing of Boots, just shows what he's already built without much backing, is the reality. He's never really had any real consistency. He's been at a lot of delays. And I think he's got so much to offer the sport. I think he's going to, you know, rule for a long, long time. They're going to have over 13,000 people in Philadelphia tonight. That, don't get me wrong, that probably exceeded expectations. I think we always thought it would do well, but especially US boxing, selling those kind of tickets, those numbers, and we're on a great run as well. We signed Subriel Matias. Obviously he didn't get the win. Liam Parrow beat him in Puerto Rico. We had 9,000 people there, 9,000 people there for BAM against Estrada just a couple of weeks ago now in a tremendous fight. And yeah, I think we're in a great place in the US. And when you start talking about fighters like Shakur Stevenson, he'll have a lot of people after him because he's a tremendous fighter and delivers great numbers without. Again, I don't think he's really had the promotional backing necessarily. You know, to be, he could be a lot bigger than he is. So yeah, I think I'm excited about it, and I think Boots has got so much more to offer. And like I say, when you look at in such a short space of time, the change of opponent as well, I think he's done really well.
You talk about sort of everything flourishing and booming in America. On a global scene, do you know when we can sort of expect more from a schedule? I think we've got Dalton Smith. Eddie had sort of revealed that fight will be announced imminently. Sandy Ryan co-main event, I believe. Junaid Boston and Ishmael Davis. Is that happening? And is there a bit of beef between Sonny and Junaid off the back of it? I know Junaid's unfollowed Sonny or something like that.
Let's see on that fight. Look, when you asked a lot of questions there. So first things first, schedule. I think we'll announce. Well, today, by the time this goes out, maybe we might have done it. We'll announce 3 fights: one for the UK, one for the US, one for Mexico, and then we're at the same time working on October, November, December. We've got a packed schedule. We've had a packed schedule non-stop, but that's coming today or already been announced. It depends when get off your ass and release this because you've lost that edge of being quick with it. Then second question, Dalton Smith. Yep, headline in Sheffield. Plan is Sandy Ryan on there as well, amongst other fights. As you say, that fight been ordered. Ishmael Davis, Junaid Boston. It's a tremendous fight. I can't speak on Sonny Edwards' relationship. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and make something up. You'll have to ask him on that. But I think that's a brilliant fight, and I think from what I've seen and discussions that have been had, I think you'll see that fight on that card as well.
Dillian White was ringside for Johnny Fisher last weekend. Eddie had said there'd been little brief chats and stuff like that. Doesn't know if he can fight in the UK. Can fight in the States, obviously fought in Ireland. Have there been any conversations with Matchroom and Dillian's team and representatives about doing something again, a couple of fights?
Yeah, look, I spoke to Dillian as well when I was sat next to him, just talking to him about what the plan is. And I think there's opportunity there. We've done many things in the past together, and I think there's opportunity to do more in the future. Nothing concrete yet, but let's see how things play out.
When we look at the whole AJ Dubois thing, a lot of people online are almost a little bit puzzled with Daniel Dubois, and perhaps maybe the same for us who work in the sport, because we see this guy who could never really talk at a press conference, and it maybe it'd seem a little bit forced. You look at the original Joe Joyce build up and stuff like that. We come away from the AJ stuff where it's like, if you want to go now, and all of a sudden, well, we can see it's real from Daniel. But what do you put it down to? Because it's quite uncharacteristic from him.
I suppose people change, people evolve, people develop over time, don't they? And he's still quite wooden in the way he does
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
He's not. He's very. I don't know. Sometimes it looks a bit forced in a sense of he's trying to, you know,
What's his words
say
like?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a different character. Not everyone's the same, are they? He's grown up. He's very young still. Like it's mad to think what he's done in the sport at such a young age. So the personality you maybe saw 5 years ago when he kicked off, or well, maybe it was before that. I don't know the exact dates. He's changing, just like we all do. You've changed a lot.
Oh,
Um,
Frank, stop it. I
no,
knew there was
no, no,
another one.
no, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Bit of fun in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry for the terrible English.
oh, the viewers have always hated us anyway, for the most part.
Yeah,
How
mainly
does
me.
Josh? I don't know, mate. I'm getting on that level. How does Joshua Dubois go?
AJ knocks him out.
And then what's the sort of pathway? Is it to just wait around Fury 2025, regardless win or lose in the Usyk rematch?
Let's see, again, we've spoken so much about heavyweight boxing. What's next? What's next? Let's not look beyond September 21st. It's going to be a special event. Things change daily in this sport, as we've said a million times. Let's just focus on what's ahead. And then we go from there because anything can happen in this sport. Someone retires, someone pulls out, someone gets injured. It's a wild sport and it's hard to think too far ahead. It's obviously our job to think about further ahead, but you can't really make many decisions because you never know what's happening tomorrow.
Frank, what's the Well, I mean, we've all seen Chris Eubank Jr. sign some form of promotional agreement with boxer. Eddie said he was a bit confused by the sort of wording and the packaging or whatever. But I believe that not himself, but you had conversations with Eubank, etc. Why, I suppose two and one again. Why didn't you guys manage to get his signature, and what have you made of him going to boxer?
Yeah, I think it's a. I think what you mean about like is a partnership agreement. I'm not sure what that means. I never actually spoke to Chris directly. Really, I had a couple of guys saw him briefly in Vegas a couple of times when I was there. Uh, I think I spoke to his team. Look, our focus as and his focus as well, and what I've always been told is that he wants the Conor Benn fight. That's the fight he's focused on making. When it came to the discussions, obviously we're not sure, or we're still working through the dates of when a Conor Benn fight could take place. Obviously, it makes sense that that happens in the UK. There's nowhere else to really do it. It's a massive fight, sells out a stadium, etc., etc. So when we looked at a proposal of what could work, it was a fight in October because we're in mid-July now. So 10 weeks away, 12 weeks away, whatever it is, and then go into the Conor Benn fight. I think they wanted two fights, which we just couldn't deliver in terms of, whatever you want to call it, warm-up, comeback fight, like however you want to word it. And we couldn't really put those together right now. So yeah, he's done what he's done. I'm not sure what his plans are, but yeah, I'm sure we'll see him fight Conor Benn sometime soon. And that was the discussion I had even after they signed. They said to me, he's signing this, but our focus is still to do the Conor Benn fight and we can do it together. So there was no real mention. I think he's got the ability to do something without them and make the Conor Benn fight.
I know that you've said you're not going to speak on it because certain things just go on and on and on, i.e., a little bit the kind of end situation in this fight. But do you think by the time both of them hang it up, they would have fought each other?
I've always said It's one of my personal goals in boxing. Been lucky enough to be involved in a lot of things, but I worked very hard to try and make that fight the first time. It was a slog. I've had a lot of conversations about it over the years, and look, I see a lot of comments about people saying why is he pushing so hard as his brother-in-law? But that's the fight Eubank Jr. wants. Both guys want that fight, and I want to make the fight because I think it's a huge fight, and I believe we will see it. When? I don't know. Tomorrow? No. Next? Oh, what a shame.
Well, we've now pinned you. Frank, I suppose lastly for me, I know you've got to shoot off. Ryan Garcia, it still sort of keeps happening. It's all a little bit sad. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, terrible. Like, I don't really know Ryan. Well, I've met him a couple of times. Always was a nice bloke. When I've met him, very respectable. Obviously, what he's going through at the minute, the situation, what he said, he needs help. And I hope there's someone around him he can actually listen to. Sometimes it's all well and good saying these people need to do so, this person needs to do something, but at the same time, when you try and help someone a lot and you get pushed back, and there's only so much you can do as individuals. I think it's getting to the point where people have to step in and force it, and hopefully he gets better because no one wants to see. Like I say, he said a lot of things which I'm sure he'll be apologetic for when he's in a sensible state, a state where he understands what he said. I'm not making excuses for him. I can't. It's not for me to do. But yeah, it's just he needs help, and hopefully he gets that. Because no one wants to see it.
Frank Smith, thank you very much for your time. All the best come Monday in Japan. I assume or I hope we'll link up within the next week or so. Is it coming home?
What, me or the Prizefighter
You're
trophy?
definitely
Or
coming home. The Prizefighter trophy probably won't be until the end of the tournament, England in the finals.
uh, yes, I think they
Good.
will beat Spain. My knowledge of football is not huge, but hopefully the England players go out there, smash them up, bring it home. But they get a trophy, don't they? And some medals. So hopefully they bring home the medals and the trophy. I'm quite glad I'm not in England on Monday because there's going to be some terrible sights if we do win.
We're off to Berlin, baby.
Enjoy yourself, big time, Charlie. Probably on a jet, probably in hospitality, drinking champagne. You've
No,
completely changed. So enjoy yourself, embrace it, and have one for me.
Frank Smith, top man, thank you for speaking to us from Japan.